introduce you to all of our sea lions. So here with me we have Inika. That Inika is our smallest adult female and she's also our loudest. And then just to the left of me we have Oscar. He's our largest, he's our adult male of the group. And then to the right of me we have Lucy. Lucy's our largest adult female and she's also mum to little Nessie. Now Nessie is just 1 year old. She can be seen throughout this demonstration as she's still very reliant on her mum at the moment. Now we do have two other sea lions that are juveniles at the moment and they are currently inside having a separate training session that can be seen after this demonstration. That's Barney and Otis. Now one topic that is very close to these guys' hearts and is the difference between seals and sea lions. As a lot of people come here and they call these guys seals and it makes all of our sea lions very embarrassed. Now this is because they're in fact California sea lions. Now I'll go through a couple of the differences with you guys. So the first, granted, it's very small and it can be seen on either side of their head. Now as these external ear flaps, they look much like little Shrek ears. If you were looking at a seal, it would just be a hole on either side of their head where their inner ear is. Now the next difference is a lot bigger. It's those lovely big foreflippers. They can actually reach up to the length of an adult's arm. If you were looking at a seal, it would be closer to the size of an adult's hand. And they're actually very strong as well, and they can hold the entire body weight of the sea lion. Now, the last difference is the way they move. So these guys are very agile on the land. They can run, they can jump, they can even climb. They're extremely agile and it's thanks to something called a rotating hip joint. Now that means that they can essentially pop their pelvis underneath them and walk on all fours. Now, with that being said, seals actually have something called a fixed hip joint. So it means that they also move rather differently. And it means that they move much like a big chubby slug. Just as Oscar is showing you at the side there. That is that they move their bodies right across the ground instead as they don't have that rotating hip joint. Now, one thing they do share in common though, and that is predators. Now that predator is the largest predatory fish in our oceans at the moment. It has large scary teeth and our sea lions are giving you a lovely big clue as to what that predator may be. If you're thinking shark, you've thought right. It is the great white shark, but also predated upon by orcas, also known as killer whales. If you've got one of them on your tail, you've got a couple of options, and the first is to simply just get out of that water. As we all know, we're safe on land from sharks. Now you might not actually be close to the land, so we've got to have a plan B. Now that plan B is to get away as fast as they possibly can through an adaptive swimming technique known as porpoising. Now porpoising is when they pop their bodies right out of the water, just as they're showing you at the moment, making themselves as streamlined as possible, almost torpedo shape. They can actually reach up to speeds of 25 miles an hour doing this. And they can also use both of their eyes independently. Now one eye's constantly keeping an eye out on where that shark is, and the other eye's looking for that land for safety. If all else fails, these guys can make some nice splashes to try and distract that predator, so that they'll actually attack the splash instead of them. Now you can see they can do lots of little splashes just with their flippers alone. Now these guys can also make very big splashes as well, as they can also jump up to 3 metres out of the water. Just as Inika is showing you just there. To make the perfect big splash for that getaway. And Lucy's going to go, so you keep your eye out on that ball. Perfect, Lucy. That would be the perfect run to try and get away. Now Oscar is bigger, so he makes the biggest splash. That is it. With that, they'd hopefully porpoise away in another direction, hopefully able to fish another day. Now with that being said, there is actually light at this, so these guys also are predated upon by other things other than orcas and sharks. Now this is actually us humans, and we're posing a massive threat to these guys at the moment with our plastic pollution. Our plastic pollution is causing detrimental effects to marine life all over the world, even here in Scotland, which is why our sea lions have been learning to master the art of recycling. Now Oscar's becoming a master at it at the moment, so if I can draw your attention to him, just to the left there, you'll see our trainer has a bottle in her hand. And with that bottle, it's going to go into the pool, and he should hopefully pop it into the correct bin, being the recycling bin. And the reason that we're actually, now by 2050 we're actually supposed to have more plastic in our oceans than fish, which is a lot of plastic, which is why Oscar's trying to send the right message. And Annika's very impressed with you, Oscar. Now, in light of this though, here at Blair Drummond Safari Park, we actually have something called Link to the Wild, which is an umbrella of charities that we support globally. Now, here at Sea Lions, we've chosen to help those seals out here in Scotland through case nest seal rehab and release. Now, with that being said, they actually came to visit us, and it turns out it actually costs them roughly £600 to successfully rehab a seal. Well done, Oscar. Now, with that being said, it takes about 4 months at a time as well to do this, which is why we're chosen to help them, and they're a small family-run charity. Now, it's run by a lovely couple and their 2 dogs with some dedicated volunteers. Now, as you'll see in the pool here, you've got Annika playing with the young one, Nessie. Nessie is currently learning to eat fish at the moment, which is why they're having an absolute ball in the pool. Now, with all this being said with the charity, we will be round the side of there, just with our charity pots, and if anybody is able to donate any money, that's exactly where your money would be going. It would be to help the seals out in the north coast of Scotland here. Now, if you can't donate, don't worry about it. You can also grab some stickers, ask us any questions. We're more than happy to answer any questions you guys may have in any of our sea lines. Now, as we're coming to the end of our demonstration, we're going to go through why we actually train these guys. Because everybody asks how we train these guys, and it all starts with training positive reinforcement. Now, positive reinforcement in a nutshell is essentially every time these guys get something right, they get some nice fishy snacks, which is why us and the rest of the trainers all have our buckets round our waist which have those nice fishy snacks in them. If they were to get something wrong, we would simply just move on to something else, something a wee bit easier, something we know they won't fail at. We always set them up to succeed. And we can also get a nice check over of their full bodies as well by simply popping them into that nice lap. Just again making sure that no cut scuffs or abrasions, no lumps or bumps, and if they did, we'd be able to get top fit ASAP for them. Now, this being said, it means that our sea lions have a win-win here, and they get to voluntarily participate in all of their own health checks, and we get to make sure that they are remaining nice, happy and healthy animals. Thanks for coming. Well done, Oscar, you did a great job. You give us a nice big wave in a cup. You did a good job as well. Thank you so much for coming, and enjoy the rest of your day. We'll just be round the side if you need to grab any stickers or want to ask any questions or give any donations. Thank you very much, everybody, and goodbye.